as black entrepreneurs, as just anyone of the culture, buying a business is like a major way. Right now, we're in what they call the Great Wealth Transfers. We're probably the first black Booster Juice franchisees in Canada.
Probably heard me say it, I'm gonna say it again. It's coming, and you need to pick your freaking vehicle. You know, you can buy businesses. There's 80 million baby boomers retiring, and they have businesses.
My second year, going into my third year, kind of when I'm realizing the league's not happening. So let me do something else to eat. That transition is so tough because your whole life, it's like, I'm a hooper, I'm this, you know, you're getting girls because you're a hooper, you're getting free food because you're a hooper, and then that ball stops bouncing. It's like, who am I? Me and my bro, we raised like $50,000 just from the homies, and like crypto was going crazy, and we ran that account up from 50 grand to like 500,000. And the next summer, the shit went to like 5 grand. I was doing meal prep in the States. Like, you know, there's a lot of meal prep companies in the States, and I was kind of looking for meal prep for myself in Scotia. We had like 5 people wanting the meals, and next week we had like 10, and she wanted the cap at 10. She just wanted the next income. Then the next week we had like 20. I'm like, you're not gonna say no to some bread. $350,000 to open the Booster Juice, but the bank is almost guaranteed to give you the loan. All you need is $120,000 down payment. All you need. We buy cars and we rent them to people in the hood with no credit cards. You know, real simple shit. Like, people need cars to get around. Nevell Provo from North Preston, Nova Scotia. Entrepreneur, some would say serial entrepreneur, but just a young black man trying to get it. Pretty much, that's how I describe myself.
Dope. So I don't want to mess this up, so I'm gonna name all your business ventures that I came up on. R&B Kitchen. Right. Smooth Meal Prep. Booster Juice. Try Saute. Can you explain? Is there any more? Did I miss one?
That's all I got. The top of my head. The major. Right now. Those are the main ones. Those are the main ones.
Before we get into what you're doing right now, I want to, because I was doing my research, and I know you're a serial entrepreneur. So I want to know. I want to know a little bit about the lead up, how you got here, because obviously I know you have a basketball history. When did that take a change? When did you say, you know what, this is not for me?
It's a long journey, man. It started, you know, really when I was about 12, 13, around 12. You know, I remember back in Scotia, just always hooping football, playing a lot of sports. Basketball is big in my family. And Eastern Commerce, you know, they actually did an exchange program with a team from Scotia.
I didn't even know that.
So they came down. I still know a lot of the guys from Eastern. Spook, shout out to all those guys. They came down to Scotia, and I was like in grade 6, and they were all in grade 9. So I played against them, and I, you know, went to work, and they're like, man, you got to be the best grade 6 we've seen in Canada. So that was like, shit, like, okay, fuck, I must be really nice. You swear on here?
You're good.
Like, fuck, I must be nice. So like to get that kind of stamp from you know, Eastern Commerce was like, all right, shit, let me take this a little more serious. So I remember that year, you know, my bro, he was away in Toronto. We kind of came back, and we wrote, my goal was to enter the 2016 NBA draft, right? So this was like 2008. So we wrote it down on paper, like, I'm gonna be in the 2016 draft. And ever since then, I kind of grinded and really dedicated my life to ball, like, you know, waking up 4 or 5 a.m. running. You know, I'm still in grade 6, grade 7, like really grinding it out. And then I remember like grade 8, I came to Toronto for summer, played with grassroots, you know, for the summer with Coach Rowe and all those guys, and went back to Scotia. And then they're like, yo, you got to come up here for school. So grade 9, came back for school, went to Pickering High, stayed with my uncle.
Oh, you stayed?
I didn't know that. Okay, so I left my family, came to Toronto. And that's where I would have met Dylan, Eli, you know, all the dogs, right? I was playing against them at first. They were Mississauga Monarchs, and I was playing with Advantage Titans. And I still tell the story today, especially with, you know, you see all the shit with Dylan, the villain, and all that. I'm like, yo, he's been that guy, bro.
He's been like that.
Grade 9, I hated him. Like, we play against him. I wanted to fight this guy. Every possession, him and Eli are da-da-da. But I say the story to say, when I hated him when I played against him. But when I got on his team, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. That's the guy you need. Like, and still to this day, my brothers, like, you know, nothing but love. I go to war with any of those guys any day of the week. But that was kind of my basketball journey. Then I went down to Huntington Prep in grade 10, got recruited down there, played with Andrew Wiggins, Xavier Rathen Mays, Negus Webster Chan, Tanvir Bular, Stefan
you guys
Yankovic.
had a solid team. I remember when you came back and you guys played Nas for that one game.
Yeah. Nas gave us like 40. He was cooking us. We got the W though, but Nas was cooking. But yeah, we were like number one ranked prep school in the nation. So in grade 10, I'm playing a, you know, university like kind of schedule. We're traveling all around the States. We're traveling to Canada. After the game, we're fucking signing autographs. They're there for Wiggins, but fuck, we're there too. So I'm signing this shit. So that was mind blowing. You know, stayed there for 2 years, and I came back to Canada for grade 12. I went to Orangeville Prep. You know, I was kind of one of the first guys to really make that move. Me, Jalen Poyser, Jamal Murray, made that move, and then finished my last year at Pine Ridge. Went back to Pickering. Played for Team Canada for a couple years. Got recruited to play Division I down in Baltimore, Maryland. And at this point, I'm still thinking, oh, league, you know how it goes. And then around my second, third year, I'm like, probably not going.
Third year
university.
I'm
like, probably not going to the league. Like, you know, I can realize and see that, all right. You know, when I'm playing for Team Canada and shit, you know, I'm on the kind of talks and, you know, those type of ranked player. But once you got to that level, I'm like, all right, there's a different level. I'm not 6'5", you know what I'm saying? I'm not fucking super athletic. Cool, the league's probably not there for me. But, you know, I still always had a hustle. I still, you know, had $100 million on my mind. That was something I would say from high school days. Like, you know, $100 million is my goal, and I want to achieve that. So, one summer, I think I watched Wolf of Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? That movie, I think, is the change maker for a lot of our generation. Like, you know, really trying to get it and seeing that and be like, fuck. Then tap in, okay, what does this guy do? He's an investment banker. So I'm like, all right, shit, I'm gonna try that out. So I went to school for finance. Loyola was like a top-ranked business school. So studied finance, got into the crypto world at the time as well. You know, I was in crazy shape from working out and playing ball. So I started Smooth Meal Plan. That was before Smooth Meal Prep. And all that was, you know, I was in Cali for the summer. Didn't have too much money to my name, but I'm in Cali training. So I'm like, fuck, let me start online training, online programs, online meal plans. And
what year is this?
This was in 2017, I'd say.
So you're still after your basketball?
I'm still playing ball this time. So I'm like in my second year, going into my third year, kind of when I'm realizing the league's not happening. So let me do something else to eat. So started, you know, posting my workouts, posting what I'm eating, and creating a meal plan for people to tap in and buy for $30. And that was kind of my first taste of, you know, marketing, and my first taste of having a product. And then, you know, after that, I kind of got into the crypto space. So, man, me and my bro, we raised like $50,000 just from the homies. Yeah. And like crypto was going crazy. And we ran that account up from 50 grand to like 500,000.
Wow.
Right? Wow. But then the next summer, the shit went to like 5 grand. Right? And you know, we hold on and it bounced back, and we were able to pay people back and all that stuff. But, you know, just all those wins and losses and learning that process of raising funds and marketing and all those things kind of, you know, catapulted to what I am today. So, you know, school's kind of done. I'm still in school. I finished my school at Loyola, came back to St. Mary's in Halifax for my last year. This is like hometown. So yeah, once I realized I wasn't going to the league, I'm like, all right, there's no point in me staying here in the States, grinding away from my family. Let me come back home and ball, kill the league, be around my family, etc. So once I came back, I was doing meal prep in the States. Like, you know, there's a lot of meal prep companies in the States, and I was kind of looking for meal prep for myself in Scotia. There was no one that was doing it. Wow. I'm like, shit, there's an opportunity. Like I said, I already had a Smooth Meal Plan. So I had the meals that people should be eating, etc. I'm like to my mom, yo, let's make the meals, right? So we started making the meals. First week, she made them for myself and my brother and my dad. That was just so I could get pictures of the meals and create the Instagram page and all that. The next week, we had like 5 people wanting the meals. And next week, we had like 10. And she wanted the cap at 10. She just wanted the next income. Then the next week we had like 20. I'm like, you're not gonna say no to some bread.
That's money.
And you know, 5 years later, kind of here we are. So that was kind of really the start. Smooth Meal Prep, you know, that came from those other businesses. And then, you know, after Smooth Meal Prep came R&B Kitchen. Then, you know, after that, we had an opportunity to buy a competitor that was Try Saute. So we bought them out. Actually, that's the business we own now, Saute, another meal prep brand. So in Scotia, there's Smooth Meal Prep and there's Saute.
That's
right?
smart.
We own both of them. You know what I'm saying?
We'll
tap into that. Everyone don't know that, but the podcast can know that. And then came Booster Juice, and then came, you know, all the other stuff in between. So
dope, bro.
That's kind of the journey.
So how hard was it for you? Because I do ask a lot of hoopers this because sometimes I get a little bit concerned about the transition, right? And holding on to that legend that you once were. How difficult was that for you?
It was tough. It was tough. And, you know, we actually started an organization, something else that we do. It's called the Futures Program. It's a non-for-profit organization that me, a guy named Shaq Smith, and my brother Corvell Beal started. And it's to help hoopers with that transition. Yeah, bro. Because so many of us, ball is life, right? Ball is life from fucking age 10 to 20. And a lot of guys get 20 and you still see guys hooping at the Y like it's their last. Like, bro, like, I get it, but man, go do something else. Right? You see guys overseas making, man, some guys making like
$1,500 a month.
Literally, bro. Like you can make more at McDonald's, but they're holding on to that, right? There's guys that are making bread overseas, as you know, but there's some guys that are making change. But, you know, that transition is so tough because your whole life, it's like, I'm a hooper, I'm this, you know, you're getting girls because you're a hooper, you're getting free food because you're a hooper, and then that ball stops bouncing. Is like, who am I? So, you know, I went through that phase as well, but mine was short lived because, you know, I think who I am and where I'm from, I'm so adaptive, and I'm gonna be the top at whatever I'm doing. Like whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to be the best. So once I realized, like, all right, I'm not going to the league, it's like, okay, well, I gotta do something to still be me, and I gotta quickly make that transition. So, you know, I remember I was at Loyola, Division I, and where I'm from, Scotia, I was like the first guy to leave, to play Team Canada, first guy to go to Huntington Prep, first guy to really.
Because you're older than Lindell.
Exactly.
Okay,
so like that's my little homie. So like I'm the first guy to really kind of do it at that level. So man, the pastors in church praying for me, the fucking everybody's like, Nevell's our guy. Like people are latching on to me because they're expecting me to go to the league and pay for the whole hood, and I put that on myself too. So when I wasn't that, I was like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm at Loyola Division I, I'm calling my pops like, yo, I'm thinking about leaving Loyola Division I, NCAA, where we're playing Kansas, people see me on TV and coming back to St. Mary's. He's like, no, man, you can't do it. And my pops, he's like, he's my number one fan, like, but he's like.
And I've seen him.
Yeah, he's limelight guy. Like, no, we want you to be that.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, man, you can't do that. Like, you're gonna let people down. And I had to swallow my pride and be like, kind of
have an ego,
be my own man, and be like, yeah, I feel that, but I'm still me. What I'm gonna do is gonna be more than this is not my path. So that was a real ego swallower, like, because for me it was like, fuck, I failed. I'm coming back home. People are gonna see me.
Yeah, the whole province.
You know what I'm saying? The whole province. So like it was like, you know, it was big news when I left there and came back. I was in the newspaper and all that shit. So that was a real moment for me, but I'm the kind of guy like that shit don't last long, right? But I know that's not the case for a lot of people. So that's why I quickly had to find something else to kind of be, I guess, recognized for. Find something else. And now it's like, you know, people don't even know me as Nevell the Hooper no more. If you know, you know, but those that know me now is Nevell, whatever, the entrepreneur, whatever you call me nowadays. So yeah, that was a real transition.
So would you advise, like, even when I talk to my guys that play ball right now, like we actually rarely talk about basketball, bro. And I do that on purpose because I'm a little bit older. So I'm trying to plant the seeds like, hey, who are you, one? And what do you think you want to do, right? So for guys that are going to retire soon or just hitting their 30s, when do you think they should start thinking about these things?
And that's what we do with the Futures program. And we want you thinking about it immediately.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Like from you 15, like from your everyone else. Because when you're balling, and how we look at it is like, you know, in high school, you're not working another job. You're going to school and you're playing ball. You go to college, you're not getting an internship in the summer. You're training. Right. So while the rest of the world is getting job experience, getting internship experience, networking outside of sport, your whole network is basketball people.
And that's it.
You know what I'm saying? Then you come out of, so like, man, we did a study. The average income after 5 years after university for someone that just, you know, went to school, wasn't an athlete versus an athlete is disproportional.
Really?
Athletes are making a lot less.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that experience. They're coming out of school and if they're not playing ball, they're going to the least possible job because they don't have that experience. So, you know, you got to start thinking about it early. And again, it doesn't take away from your sport. Basketball is a vehicle, so use it as far as it's going to take you. But in the meantime, you know, if you start thinking about other things, you can kind of leverage the sport as you're going, right? Because, you know, as an athlete, you have clout that others don't have. So, yeah, you can get in the room with a big CEO just because he wants to know you as an athlete. But while you're in that room, you're talking about other shit. You can leverage, especially nowadays with the NILs and all these things. Exactly. So thinking about it earlier, the better. The more you start, reading and putting yourself in different places. That was the kind of key for me. Even in high school, like I remember I went to a seminar and a guy was talking about stocks. Even before Wolf of Wall Street, the guy was talking about stocks, and I'm like, all right. I just started reading books and just started thinking about those things. So now when it came time, it was an easier transition because I kind of had a head start.
Yeah.
Ball was life, but I also had moments like when I got cut from a team in high school. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I'm like, fuck, the league's not going to work. So I kind of did stuff on the side, but then, okay, the ball picked back up. Like, all right, I'm going again. But
so you always been an active learner, no matter what?
Always been. I always been a guy, straight A's in school. Mm-hmm. Always been a thinker. So
same.
Always kind of had a backup plan in some way.
True.
Right? So while I was playing ball, there was a lot of other things I was kind of just interested in and kind of exploring. Mm-hmm. Right? So cool. I say that's a key for sure.
So Smooth Meal Prep, right?
Yep.
That was I guess that's your baby.
Yep.
So that started, right? So when did you start to go into like R&B Kitchen? Does that fund everything else?
So Smooth Meal Prep, we just had our 5-year anniversary. Congrats. Last week, actually. Appreciate it. And so that was started for about a year. In 2018, that was started. So about a year. We coming on the next year, 2020, pre-COVID, like January, COVID's about to happen in a month. Mm-hmm. We rented out a kitchen space because at first we were in my mom's kitchen. Then we moved to a community center. Then we're like, all right, we outgrew that space. We need our own space. But meal prep, we're only cooking on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Oh,
right? So we're delivering 6 meals to you on Sunday, 6 on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Rest of the days is pretty much open. We're not doing nothing. So at first we're like, let's look to rent the kitchen out on other days. Mm-hmm. So put on Kijiji.
Like a ghost kitchen.
Or like, you might have a bakery, but you're at home, mm-hmm. right? So you just come in the kitchen on Tuesdays, bake all your goods.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Type thing. Was smart till people start coming in with fucking pig intestines and all kind of shit. We didn't have the control we wanted of our kitchen. It's like, all right, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's put that to the end.
Yeah.
So we're like, our chef at the time, she grew up in Toronto. She could cook Jamaican food. She was a great cook. She was a chef at all these different restaurants, trained in Italy, etc. We're like, shit, we can do something different, not the healthy food, but in Scotia, there's not a lot of quality Caribbean food.
Oh,
and there's not a lot of no soul food at all. So we're like, shit, we can kind of just make plates on these off days, like 20 plates. People just grind up plates. Yeah. So we did that on the days that we weren't cooking the Smooth Meal Prep food, and that quickly blew up. People were
because there's no soul food.
There's no soul food. So we're making 20 plates that were gone in an hour, 40 plates gone in an hour. So we're like, all right, shit, we really got something here. And that's kind of how R&B Kitchen came about. And it was right the next week after we were doing the plates, COVID happened. NBA shut down, world shut down. But the good part is we were essential because we were food.
Oh,
and we were only doing takeout anyway. We didn't have like a sit down restaurant. So people leaned on us anymore. We quickly we did free delivery. We did a lot of shit that kind of quickly move. And we were so small, so we could do those quick movements, skip the dishes. And, that kind of took off during that time. And post-COVID, we just kept it rolling. So that's kind of how R&B Smooth came to life.
Like for a city like Toronto, because Nova Scotia is a little bit smaller, would you advise people like looking for their own kitchen and kind of doing their stuff out of there? Or like, is it a little bit more, you think it'd be more difficult here?
Toronto definitely where it's like, there's a Jamaican spot on every corner. You know what I'm saying? There's a few more soul food spots. But at the same time, you just got, it's a 10 times the population, right? So, that's relative. But I would definitely say, how I look at any business is like, you kind of start at a place where you can't fail. So with Smooth Meal Prep with R&B, we're not taking on no big loans. It's bootstrap. So we're making 20 plates. Yeah. If those sell out, we're going to make 40.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If those 40 sell out, we're going to make 60. If 60 sell out, okay, now we need a kitchen. Now we really need staff. Smooth Meal Prep, same thing. We start with 5. How we started Smooth Meal Prep is super bootstrapped. I ain't had no money. My parents ain't had no money. I don't come from no money. Mm-hmm. Put the marketing out, put your orders in by Thursday. Thursday,
so you already know.
Thursday the order's in, the money sent. Saturday we're doing the grocery shopping with the money that we have Thursday and the orders. We know what we're buying. We're not buying no extra. Sunday we're cooking it. Monday we're delivering it. We followed that process for
over and
you know
over
what I'm saying?
over.
So like we didn't need loans. We didn't need, the investments and stuff came in when we took the kitchen on. But now we've been doing this for 6 months. We know the capacity. Now it makes sense. So I think with anything, it's the beta stage. It's the stages of business, the pre-trials and kind of, mitigating that risk from just trying shit in a smaller way.
The point where you got to where like, yo, I need a team right now. How was that process for you? Because I think team building is actually pretty hard. So how's that process?
Yeah. For me, it started pretty early where I can't cook.
So you don't never,
I don't cook, bro. I don't cook. I can't cook. I don't want to be, I can get my hands dirty in the early stages I am, but yeah, I'm vision. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a, make the things happen. The marketing and stuff is my skill, right? So
fair.
It's like, all right, cool. How I looked at it pretty early was like, I can do everything. I can deliver, I can cook, I can bag, I can put the meals together, take up all these hours of my day, or I can pay someone to do that, not make as much profit to myself up front, but be able to keep my headspace, be able to keep my time, to keep growing and keep going, right? So every business we kind of built,
interest.
you know what I'm saying? Every business we've kind of built, it's been, we kind of hired a team right away. We kind of
from the jump.
Like,
that's smart.
You know what I'm saying? As long as it's profitable, as long as, and we make sure it's profitable. But again, most businesses I'm in right now, I'm still not making no real money from.
Yeah.
Because I've built a team, I built a business where the business can self.
Because you got to get paid last. And I seen that actually on your
Exactly,
Instagram. And someone else mentioned it on one of my other podcasts about like entrepreneurs and bosses. They just got to get paid last. They get paid, they get
when
paid.
We get paid, right? And it's a mentality of leaders eat last. And I'm willing to get paid last. So, again, right now, and this is why I do so many other little things, Airbnbs and car rentals, because I got to eat today.
Yeah.
But my businesses, I let them grow, and I'm not going to pull too much from them. They're going to, survive on their own and then be able to pay other people. But when 5 years, 10 years, when the margins are real and we're ready to sell it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when the real paydays will come, right? Cool. So that patience is challenging, but I think that's been my process with building a business, and having a team is crucial for that.
Cool. So I'm reading a book called 22 Immutable Laws of Branding, right? And it mentions something that you are doing right now, and it basically says that companies that try to start, let's say a sister brand,
okay, that
is like, let's say like, for example, like they have a name and they attach the name to the other brand. They go to shits. You did right here, try saute.
Yes.
And nobody knows that really, right?
No one knows.
What's the thought process behind that? And why'd you buy that business out?
Yeah, so when Smooth Meal Prep first came about, there was one business that was doing this thing, Try Saute, but they were a little different. And we kind of been competing for 5 years. We're watching them, they're watching us. You know what I'm saying? It's like Coke and Pepsi type shit, like on a smaller level, obviously. And we always kind of had our eye on them. And the guy who was building the business, he actually reached out to us. He's like, hey, I'm looking to go do something else. But he did a great job of building his business. He built it in a way. He's also not a food guy, just an entrepreneur that built all the systems, built all the processes where it was easy for us to take over. He let us look at his business. He said, hey, I want you guys to have him present this for you to buy it.
Wow.
We looked at the numbers, it made sense. But then that's the other part. For us to have 90% of the meal prep market in Halifax in 2 different businesses.
That's
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's a lot.
we looked at like, okay, we can combine them together. I was looking for a bigger word, but we keep it simple. It's consolidated. We can combine the 2 businesses together and make it one brand. That's cool. Or we can keep it 2 different brands because customers love the option of choice, right? So you look at, I think they show the brand PepsiCo. They own fucking Doritos. They own fucking they own everything.
Yeah.
But you go in a grocery store, you're like,
they're competing. Looks like they're competing.
You're like, I'm going. No, you're paying the same person.
Yeah.
Right. So that kind of thought process behind, like, we'll do funny stuff. Like someone will message Smooth Meal Prep, like, hey, not happy with the service no more. I'm like, I understand. Try out this brand. Try Saute. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, right? So, that process of just being the main party in town, and it just allows us flexibility. We now we brought the operations together on the back end, but still two different brands that go to the consumer.
So when buying another business, what do you look for other than like the financials? What are you looking for?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And I first want to kind of preface it by saying, as Black entrepreneurs, as just anyone of the culture, buying a business is like a major way. Right now, we're in what they call the great wealth transfer. So
100%.
You got the boomers, the baby boomers. They own fucking 80% of the wealth.
And they're looking to sell their business right now.
They're all 80s and 90s. And, the problem is a lot of their kids don't want to take over the businesses.
The laundromats, the
laundromats. Right now I'm looking to buy as many garages as possible, like repair shops. But a lot of these businesses are just literally going to close because there's no one kind of ready to buy, and they haven't packaged them in a way to buy them.
True.
So, it's over $1 trillion that'll be transferred from businesses being handed off. The wealth transfer is a real opportunity. And the cool part about buying a business is a lot of people, starting a business is a grind. Like to start from nothing and build, a brand, build operations, build all these things is 90% of businesses fail in the first year. 95% fail in the first 5 years. If you can buy a business that's been around for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, they clearly, passed that test of time, right? So you're buying something that exists already and that's in a good place. You kind of can skip a step, right? And the cool part as well, a lot of people think, you got to come up with $100,000, you got to come up with $200,000. No, in our deal with Saute, we won't get into the specifics, but there's ways to be creative. First and foremost, the bank, they'll give you money to buy a business before they give you money to buy a house, or give you money to buy a car, or give you money to start your own business. Because again, the bank, they're investors.
Yeah, they're in it to make money
too. People don't understand, like a bank, when they say, oh, the bank won't give me a loan, they're in it to make money. So if they see a business that's, the numbers show for the last 15 years, this business has profited. All they want to know is, can that business make the payment to pay us? If the business shows that it clearly can do that, they'll sign it off in no time, right? So you have a better opportunity, going to the bank. Even if you don't got great credit, the business is the credit. The business is showing that it's able to pay back. So is it like
if you default on some shit, like they'll take it over?
They'll take it over.
That's their business.
Yeah. They'll take it over, right? So they'll, or you can put up your house or different things, but whatever the collateral is, usually they'll make it the business. They'll do that. The second part is there's something called a vendor's note or a vendor's opportunity where, the owner of the said business and myself as a buyer, I could say to him, we're going to skip the bank. You know what your business does. I'm going to give you, if the business costs $130,000, I'm going to give you $30,000 up front. The $100,000 we're going to pay over the next 2 years, right? So you as an owner, you still have a vested interest in this business. The business can pay you $100,000 over these, next 2 years. You skip the bank. You didn't have to come up with this crazy down payment. The owner clearly knows his business can make that payment. And now, he's just eating the profit for the next 2, 3, 5 years.
That's being creative with it.
Exactly. Once that's done, cool. December 1st, I got to make a payment to the guys who bought the business first, but the business paid for it. So there's a lot more creativity in those deals. Again, where houses and cars and things of that sort have very strict rules. They've been done the same way forever. Buying a business, it's just me and you doing a deal. We can find any way to make that happen. And the cool part about the business is it's usually a profit producing asset. A house is just an asset itself.
100%.
So you can be real creative with that. Buying a business is the way to go for the next 20, 30 years. But when you're looking at it, you want to look at the finances. You want to make sure it makes sense financially. Operations is huge. If I'm taking over a business, I don't want to take over a business that only you can run. Only you know how to deal with the employees. You're the main person doing everything. It's really based off your skill and your ability. I want to buy something that like really the owner didn't spend no time in.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Because that proves to me the business
runs itself.
You know, the staff is there, the operations are there. You know, you want to look at like things like written policies, and buying a franchise really, when we bought Booster Juice, really helped me see that even more clearer. Like, you want to buy something that like everything is laid out, how to do every step in the business. Because again, I'm buying it, I'm taking over. I don't want to be calling you every time. So I want to be able to step in, and this business can run by itself. And there's instructions and manuals on how to do things. So you know that stuff's crucial. You know, non-volatile customer base. Where again, you know, some businesses, I probably wouldn't buy your barbershop, right? Because if you're the main barber and people are coming to get their haircut from you, but if you got a barbershop and there's 10 other barbers and you're just running it, okay, cool, right? Because if I buy it and then you leave,
then everyone leaves with it.
Everyone leaves with it. So simple stuff like that you want to look at, and it's not rocket science, man. It's just understanding, you know, what you're looking for, and the main thing is what you want to think of is, if this person leaves, can we come in and, you know, for the first 6 months, you don't want to change nothing. Like you want everything to be the same, because the main thing is you don't want to break it. You want it to run smooth. You want it to run the same way. Then you start making the changes, adding your stuff that hopefully can make it better. But you want to be real careful with that. But at the same time too, when you're looking at those businesses, like, you know, we're looking at, like I said, old mechanic shops right now. They're only taking 5 cars a day, but they could be taking way more just off of scheduling.
Yeah.
Like their payment systems, their processes are all outdated.
Marketing.
Get me started on marketing. They got 5 Facebook followers, right? So we could come in, make freaking 2 TikTok videos a week and double and triple the sales. So those are the ones where, oh shit, real opportunity. I can really come in, modernize, really come in, make these systems and marketing and things better, and really make this grow even more, right?
Dope.
That's stuff we're looking for.
One of the online people that I follow right now, have you heard of her? Cody Sanchez? No, because she talks about buying boring businesses.
Okay.
So I was just wondering, because a lot of what you're talking about right now,
come say his thoughts about it.
She talks about it. I'll send you offline.
Send me, please.
That's dope. So getting into the Booster Juice, I think I didn't. That's the one I didn't mention before.
Yeah.
So that's a franchise, right?
Yes.
What made you get into a franchise?
This was one of those kind of God sent moments. Didn't it really have wasn't like we got to get in a franchise. It was, you know, in Scotia, there's like 3 Booster Juice. I'm a Booster Juice guy. I was going to Booster Juice every day, but the Booster Juice that we all went to was kind of like out the way. But there's one where we have it now in Cole Harbor, where, you know, we're like, man, there needs to be one over here. If there was one over here, it'd do really well. So my mom, she's like super Booster Juice every day. They know her order.
Yeah.
So she goes to the Booster Juice in Dartmouth Crossings. The lady at the front knows her order. You're getting the Tropical with this, and this. She's like, yep, you know my order. They know her name. There's 2 guys standing, you know, next to the front desk person with suits on. Like, oh, wow, you must come here a lot. Like, she knows your order. She's like, yeah, I come here all the time. They're like, oh, well, you're going to love in January. This was like December of 2022. You're going to love in January when we release our new app, Loyalty Points. It's like, oh, that'd be perfect. Only thing that you're missing now is a location closer to me. Like, oh, well, where do you live? Like, in the Cole Harbor area. They're like, well, that's actually why we're here. We're scouting locations. We just signed a deal with the landlord to, you know, open a spot in Cole Harbor. We're just looking for partners. Either we're going to do it as a corporate store or we're going to find a franchisee. She's like, well, my son's, and they're asked, like, are you interested? It's like, she's like, oh, got in a conversation. Well, how much is it to open a Booster Juice? She's like, they're like $350,000. It's like, I don't think we got that kind of money. So anyway, she's like, well, my sons, you know, they might be interested. Gave the guy our email, whatever. He emails us, sends us all the details. It's $350,000 to open the Booster Juice, but the bank is almost guaranteed to give you the loan. All you need is $120,000 down payment. All you need, right? So we're like, all right, shit, cool. So get in the conversation with them. You know, they love us. You know, a lot of reasons why I think they would. You know, we're probably the first Black Booster Juice franchisees in Canada.
Jeez,
I would, you know, I would say like definitely Nova Scotia. I would definitely say in Canada. I haven't seen any or met any yet. or heard of any. So, you know, that fits the bill. You know, that's the token type of stuff. But I'm a guy like, I'll take the token.
Yeah, exactly. Use it to your advantage.
I'll take the token if it gets me in the vending machine and I can get the chips. So I'm like, all right, shoot, let's look at it. Reached out to a couple people. You know, we had some of the money, not all the money. Reached out to a couple people, got the down payment, and the rest was history, right? So that's kind of how that came about. You know, in a real cool process. We went out to Edmonton for 2 weeks to the head office to go through the training. They literally train you on every ounce of the business. You got to pass a test to actually become a franchisee. We worked in the store out there for a week, so we're actually in there making smoothies and learning the process. Because we, you know, they're handing you their baby. They want to make sure you can run it and can train people and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's how that one came to life. Yeah, man.
So I noticed twice you've mentioned pooling people's money together. Yeah. Talk to me about that process and how do those conversations go, and how are there contracts involved when you've done it, and how do the payouts work? Yeah, so sorry. Even before you start, I think more of our people need to do that. Yeah, it's crucial. It's leverage is a way forward. You know, again, I'm not rolling in cash. I don't got $200,000 to just snap at a button and open a Booster Juice. And you know, you see this happen in a lot of communities, crowdfunding and investments and all this stuff. So, you know, I think firstly, I've kind of built a brand, a reputation where, you know what I'm saying? So literally like, all we did was put it on, I took a picture, I made a quick investment memo, put it on Snap. Who wants in Booster Juice? 40 people hit me up. Yeah. What's the pay in? I was like, all right, $12.5 a person. Boom, we need 8 people. 30 people like, okay, cool. At the end of it, 7 people are really serious, right? So it's a simpler process for me because, you know, you've built up your name. I built a reputation. People know Nevell's a real business. He's doing real stuff. You know, he's not running nowhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, right? So, and you're doing the back work. Exactly. So yeah, you know, family and friends and that, again, that without that, we're not able to open a Booster Juice. You know what I'm saying? Without that can't happen, but it's giving, you know, my uncles and different people access to something they wouldn't have access to, right? To be able to open a Booster Juice with $12,000. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real for them. That's real for them. And, you know, me coming up with $150,000 myself is challenging. But 10 of us come up with $15,000. That's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like we spend that at the club for a birthday. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So getting that in the mindset and it's been crazy. Like, you know, for people now to really see it, like, okay, they seen R&B, they seen Smooth Meal Prep, but Booster Juice, ain't never seen a nigga with a Booster Juice. Like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't never said, like, niggas are mad at me, like, yo, bro, like, why didn't you really tell me it was real? Like, bro, if I tell you to move, move. I'm moving. You know I'm moving. You see I'm moving. So, like, literally, like, some of the homies are, like, still mad today because they didn't get in. I'm like, man, there's more coming, right? We're scouting new locations. You know what I'm saying? So, that process is you know, that community economics, that cumulative effort. You know, again, we can put money together. Like, man, we used to literally my 19th birthday, no lie, music nightclub. We spent $19,000 for my 19th birthday at the club. And 10 guys put $2,000 in to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I look at it now, it was fun at the time. We had the girls, but like, what the fuck? Yeah, one night and it's done. Night for some club, like ridiculous, right? But, you know, now to see, you know, we can really put our money together and really do real things. And again, it's a lot harder on my own, but as a group, you know, that way forward, and we all gonna win together. And like, you know, like you said, the payout, there's different structures, right? We drew up a contract. The contract is just one page. It's here's how it works, right? But really, it's a lot of trust again in myself. Sure. But you know, the contract is the contract at the end of the day, and you know that payout can look different, right? For this one, it's a little bit more equity. You know, once the bank loans pay off, we now own an asset worth $500,000. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Divide that by 10 people, right? $50,000 each at a $12,000 investment. And then at that point, there's just... And you're doing the backwards. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point, we're not paying the bank no more. So now there's
50 grand a month or whatever the profit is a month that we can eat off of, or we can, whatever the case is, right? But you know, there's money to be made, 1,000%, right?
Group economics.
Group economics, man.
So I was doing my research, and this is something that I talk about, like just in my personal life, and it's about producing and consuming, right? And I do think our people, we're big consumers. We want
number one consumers.
Yeah, number one consumers. We want Jordans. We want Balenciagas. We want this. We want that. We want cars and everything. But none of this is going to our families, and none of this is going to our pockets.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
A lot. You know, it's something that it's been high on my list for a lot of years. You know, I remember I was like 18. I seen the black buying power in the States was like
1 point something trillion.
1 point something trillion, not billion, trillion. Trillion is 1,000 billions.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like 1,000 billions. Like they said this thing once. Like a million seconds is like 30 years or something.
Jeez.
I gotta do them. I can't remember the exact number. A billion seconds is like 350 years. Jeez. Like something ridiculous. A trillion second is like, you know what I'm saying? So when you really put it in perspective, like what $1 trillion is mind boggling. But you know, as black people and just people of the culture, we get that paycheck, we get that payout. It's like, fuck. Like I see niggas grinding. Like I need 10,000. I want to stack 10,000. Get 10,000, go buy a car. I want to stack 20,000. Get 20,000, go buy a chain. And it's like you literally like I'm grinding for that. And the problem is depreciating asset, and there's so much behind it. There's so much. It's a super, you know, whole different conversation. But you know, just really trying to untrain that. You know what I'm saying? And man, I'm a consumer as well. I'm born a consumer. My mom, you know, didn't have much. You know, couldn't afford to pay tuition or none of that stuff. Didn't have a college fund, but I always had fresh kicks. I always had fits. You know what I'm saying? So like trying to break that down, unlearn that, and you know, really understand of investment and you know, playing the long game and instant gratification, right? That's all that is, instant gratification. Cool, I buy those shoes, I feel good today. I got that chain, I feel good today. But I'm still fucking down. I'm still
broke.
Yeah, I'm still broke. I'm still broke. So yeah, really trying to change that mentality. And you know, it's even just our day to day. You know, I talk about being a consumer versus producer on social media. You know, if you're spending 5 hours a day just consuming shade and consuming everyone else's life, it's like, oh man, get on there and produce some shit.
Yeah. Create some content.
Create some content. Like give value, even if you're not getting paid, just give more to the world than you're sucking out of it.
100%.
Right. And I think, you know, as black people, again, we're the number one consumer, and it's a long history of that, man. We were slaves.
Yep.
You know, 400 years ago. Jim Crow law, all these things that existed that, you know, we're now just getting in a place of like, we actually have a little bit of money in our pocket. We just don't know what to do with it because we weren't taught. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So that's the beauty with people like you, where we're trying to change that narrative and give different opportunities.
100%. Thank you.
Yeah.
So with you doing so many different business endeavors, do you feel like any of your businesses suffer a little bit?
Definitely.
How does that work? Because I was curious about that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, you know, it's something I battle with a lot. You know, jack of what's it called? Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
Right. You know, you hear a lot of people like, man, if you just, like, you know, a guy that's building a construction company, puts all his energy in that construction company, multi-million-dollar company. Yeah. Right. Where me, you know, my energy's bounced a lot of places. Two ways I look at it. One, I know myself. I know I don't have the mental capacity to. I got ADHD.
That's me too.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
And I got it on a high level, right? And everything. Like, man, I
get
do
bored
it
fast too.
I get bored. Like I'll do boxing real serious for 2 months, get all the gear, lock in, ready to fight someone like in real life. 2 months, boom. Then I'll fucking be a skier. Then I'll fucking be a swimmer.
Yeah.
Then I'm back in basketball. Then I'm playing poker and I'm playing chess. But I dive into shit deep, and then I'm on to the next. I know that of myself. It's kind of how I keep myself going. So it's the same thing in business. But me knowing myself, you know, there are real serial entrepreneurs that own 20 businesses and they do great. You know what I'm saying? But there are also people that own one business and they do extremely well. Both sides of the coin. So knowing myself, the businesses suffered at first, and some, don't get all the attention, but now it's all about building that team. So I know that I know I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a builder. I'm not a manager. Fair. Right. So what I do, I build. I can take anything from 0 to 30, and then pretty fast. On. And then I build a team, put the team there, put a manager there that can manage it. And now what I do, I just check in weekly, right? I got weekly meetings I got 4 or 5 different managers at each business. Boost and Juice has a manager, Saute has a manager, Smooth Meal Prep. I'm kind of still the person, but it's family. R&B Kitchen has a manager. So now I just check in weekly. Social media has a manager, different things that need accountings, bookkeepers. So now where I can just check in and, okay, things are right. Okay, here, push that button. Okay, push this button. Okay, make that happen. I don't have to do the day-to-day work. So that kind of helps mitigate it. But, a great book I read is Who, Not How. A lot of times we think, here's a problem. Okay, how do I fix it? I'm a jack of all trades. How do I fix that? It's like, nah. Who are the people
that can
fix it for me, right? So that's kind of been the mentality, and that's been helping a lot. And I think that'll be. I'm never gonna turn into the guy that just focuses on one. So again, it's okay. Well, who?
That's knowing yourself.
Exactly. You gotta know yourself. You gotta know yourself, and build to protect yourself, and build to even grow with that. So that's kind of been the thought process. But with anything, there's pros and cons, there's blessings and curses, right? Yeah. With all of that. So it's trying to mitigate the bad and lean in on the good to keep pushing those things further.
Dope. Yeah. So I came up on a stat the other day, and it said something like 90% of entrepreneurs, their business fails in the first couple years, right? So I wanted to ask you a question. When do you think is the right time? This it can't be a direct answer, but to maybe pivot from your business when it's not working?
Good question. Something else that I've kind of, been struggling with and haven't done yet. There's times when the businesses have been losing, and, you can kind of see a downtrend. So, I think being able to pivot is important, right? Being able to kind of cut your losses, write something off is important. Like you said, there's no direct answer, but for me, I think it's energy, and if I don't have the energy to do it anymore,
true.
If I don't have the want, if it's not exciting me every day, because without that, it's gonna fail.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
So that, as well as profitability, and there's a line where you start off the business not going to be profitable right away. It's going to take time and all those things, but if it's literally not making sense financially, and it's not showing those signs of making sense financially, and the market has changed, and you'll kind of know when that exists. But yeah, that's something that I still don't got the clearest answer to.
True.
I'm still navigating that as a new entrepreneur. I started a lot of shit. I didn't close a lot of shit.
Fair.
But I think that time could be coming soon for some, where it's like, all right, cool, man. It's
time to move on.
It's time to move on. It's time to, consolidate that. It's time to whatever, right? So,
fair.
But we'll see. Maybe holler back in 5 years. I might got a better answer there.
So I noticed that you mentioned Facebook marketing. Yep. So you flip things off Facebook marketing. Yep. Talk to me about that. I feel like that's an underrated hustle.
Yeah, man. Facebook Marketplace, man. Whenever the rent gets due, and I'm looking, I'm like, fuck, I gotta make something shake. Yeah. Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And a lot of different things I've done on there. I fucking rented jet skis on there.
Jeez.
So the jet ski story is a sick story. COVID again. I was looking to maybe buy a jet ski, but there was backed up products. They weren't releasing jet skis for 2 years. You couldn't buy one, literally, in Canada. I'm like, shit. That means a lot of people don't have jet skis that probably want them, because I wanted one, I couldn't get it. It'd be a good business to rent jet skis, not at the dock, pull up, nah, you take your jet ski, take it to your cottage, you take it for 5 hours, go ahead. So I'm like, all right, cool. Went on Kijiji. The first thing I did is I wanted to see if the market existed. If my assumption was true, if people really wanted to rent them. So I went on Kijiji, found a guy in the States that had 2 jet skis, screenshot his picture, put it up on Facebook Marketplace as an ad. I said, yo, I got jet skis for friggin' $250 an hour. Who wants in? No word of a lie, bro. I got like 200 messages in 2 hours.
Holy shit.
That told me all it needed to tell me.
Yeah.
We got to get a jet ski.
Yeah.
The market's there. So went on Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji, one of the two. Found a guy in Toronto selling 2 old jet skis for $10,000. Rented a truck, drove up to Toronto 16 hours, me and my bro. Paid him cash. Me and my 2 other bros put $3,000 up each. Bought the jet skis, brought them back. Now we really got them. So now all the people that messaged me, I had a little automated message that said, "Hey, we're not taking any bookings no more, but we'll reach back to you when we are."
Yeah.
So I had to go buy it.
Yeah.
To fulfill the order. So boom, bought the jet ski, came back, hit them all up, and then we just started renting it out, right?
Wow,
and man, that summer made like 10 grand.
Jeez.
You know, so made the money back. Was a lot of headaches, too much work, picking them up, dropping them off, people breaking them, etc.
True.
So we're like, all right, cool. We ended up getting a newer jet ski because those ones are breaking. Sold those ones. So like got our money back and then sold those ones, had like $5,000 profit. Then the next summer we end up, and during those rentals, we found a guy that literally, you know, owns a big airline kind of company that does an airline software in Toronto. He has a cottage in Scotia, so he comes home every summer and he wants the jet skis for 2 months. Don't know why he won't buy his own one. But I'm like, yo, bro, I gotta charge you the daily rate. So literally we make like $5 grand a month, $5 grand a summer.
And he had that one person.
He got it this summer. He had it for 3 summers. He's gonna get it again this summer. So that I don't know why he won't buy a new jet ski, but I guess it's easier for him. He don't gotta. It just gets dropped off and picked up. He don't got to worry about transporting
That's crazy.
it. None of that. So, yeah, that's kind of the jet ski story. But yeah, a lot of different shit on Marketplace, man. Like I'll find bikes for $200, sell them for $400. You know, I get a lot of different items.
Do you sometimes look at the free items too that people are throwing away or not?
I don't really look at that. I should start though. I kind of look at like, you know, a lot of times I'll get items from different people. I don't know how they get them sometimes, but they get them. They get them for 25% of the full price, and then I go sell it for whatever, right? So, yeah, different things like that. Definitely, you know, those are those quick hustles that you know what I'm saying? Like there's months I'm making $4 or $5 grand off a Marketplace. Just, you know, little hustles, right?
Dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the show, right, we like to ask the previous guest to ask the next guest a question.
Okay.
And they don't know who's going to be on the show,
yeah.
right? So I have their question here.
Okay. Who's the asker? Can you say that?
Yeah. Her name's Jaden.
Okay, gotcha.
So her question is, if you had to drop one of your hustles, what would it be and why?
Ooh, it's a good one. That's a good one. So first we'll separate businesses and hustles. So business, we named the business. Hustles, we got Facebook Marketplace, little bit of Airbnb / real estate. What other hustles? Car rentals. So yeah, we do car rentals as well, and probably that one, but it's good money though.
How does that hustle work?
So that one is we buy cars and we rent them to people in the hood with no credit cards. Real simple shit. Like nigga can't rent the car, nigga then crash the car with Enterprise before. You know what I'm saying? Nigga don't got a credit card under 25. You know, insurance company don't holler at us. You know, don't, you know what I'm saying? But hey, people need cars to get around, right? So that's kind of what we do with that. We got like 10 cars and we just
let them go.
Just let them go, right? $300 a week type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that one's solid, but they're older cars, so they break down a lot. So you're getting people, and whenever people pay, like Friday's their payday, right? So they're going to pay today. But whenever they pay the next day, that's when all the problems come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now I paid for the car, so now I need you to service it. Yeah. Oh, the tire's flat. Oh, the car's making a noise. So a lot of different, you know, random calls and shit we got to pick up with that. Yeah. And then, so yeah, I'd probably say that. Anything where like it takes a lot of unexpected.
Yeah.
And it takes time. That was a problem with the jet skis. It was a lot of unexpected maintenance, and it takes your time and your energy.
So the car one?
The car one.
I'm going to ask you a question. If you had to let go of one of your businesses, which one would it be and why? Right now.
5 months ago, I would have said Smooth Meal Prep.
Really? The baby. But because we were still doing all the cooking and we were still doing everything, but we've now moved it to a kitchen.
Okay. A catering company. They handle all the back end. So we don't see it. It's just marketing and the food goes out.
Cool.
But that is still, it's still climbing out of a slow turn. So probably that. This is probably the least profitable right now.
Okay.
But it is the baby. But hey, man, baby's got to go sometime.
Yeah, 100%.
You know I don't got no loyalty to none of them. the dollar is the
goal.
Exactly.
Anyway. Okay, cool. So these next two questions we ask every guest, right? So, and you don't have to say any names. I want to know, what is the best advice you received and what's the worst advice you received? You don't have to say any names.
Best advice. A few ones. One guy said to me, work smarter, not harder. And it's something you hear all the time. But this particular time when he said it, I'm like, shit.
I get it.
Fucking right. Why didn't I really clue in this whole time? And work smarter, not harder. Like, a lot of times we think we got to grind, we got to work hard. And you do. But how can I be smarter, right? And how can I use and leverage and, all those things. So that hit me. And just for some reason, one of my ball coaches keeps coming to mind, Roy Rana, legendary coach. Wasn't necessarily advice, but just, he just really showed me how to build a team, right? He really showed me how to manage people. And this is when I played for Team Canada with Dylan. When Dylan was a hothead. Right? This is when Dylan always had an attitude, but this is when the game was backing up his attitude. Yeah. So but Dylan was my dog, and that's my bro. And I'm like the point guard and the nucleus of the team. So Rana would look at me like Dylan come off the court pissed.
Yeah, go talk to him.
Go get him. So I'm the guy yo, bro, chill out, man. I'm getting at him, right? So he just, and he did this cool thing where he wrote everybody's role on a piece of paper and had individual meetings with each person. So mine was rock. Dylan was engine. Other guy was sniper. So we all knew our role, and there was no, he told us to our face, he told him, man, you're not going to go there and score 20 points, but you're an important part of this team by fulfilling this role. So be the best at this role. So yeah, that advice and that kind of leadership, really, really molded me. And worst advice, there's a lot, man. a lot of bad advices out there in the world. Yeah, nothing comes to top of mind, but probably something around, I'm from the hood, I'm from the street, I'm from, a lot of people around me are involved in the streets. So probably something around hood getting stuff. Involved in the streets. Oh yeah, just do that, bro. You see how you doing this, you could just do that. You know what I'm saying? Something around that realm that probably wasn't the best advice. So
let me ask you a question, because you grew up in it and you've probably seen it, right, for so long. What made you be like, you know what, I'm going to do something different?
I mean, for me, I think I was kind of blessed with the opportunity, blessed with a circle, blessed with a family. So first, I had brothers and people, people that are right next to me that are heavy in it, main players involved. So I kind of seen the real behind it. I seen real investigations. I seen real court dates when you had to come up with $150,000 for lawyers, and fucking have that everything you work for got to go to fighting your case for your life. I'm fuck,
that don't make sense.
$150,000. When you hear you really had to pay that, cash, it wasn't no payment plan. Nah, you got to pay $150,000 for your lawyer.
Yeah,
and that's before you even go to trial. So shit like that is holy smokes, it's real, right? Really being enraged, really fucking you know, being in the crib chilling to see the cops come out, get on the fucking ground, and you know what I'm saying, like really being in that, really seeing homies get kidnapped, like really fucking kidnapped, really in the trunk, really have to call, yo, bring this or they're gonna kill me, like really, and you know, getting up by the skin of your teeth, and then we're driving around looking for the people, but they're nowhere, like, you know what I'm saying, like those type of moments, like really fucking seeing, you know, it gets deep, but like really seeing people die in front of, like, and you have to drive them to the hospital and be on the phone with the ambulance, and you know what I'm saying, and then really take you to the hospital, and then you're dead, and hear your mom cry. Like those are real moments. So I think the reality is like, okay, fuck it, it's just not worth it. Like, and then really seeing like, yeah, there might be a couple guys making money, but most niggas are struggling in the street, struggling. You know what I'm saying? So I think that reality of it, for me, it just didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? It didn't make sense to do. But then secondly, I think, you know, opportunity with ball and opportunities to kind of grow and
even leaving to come here.
Leaving, right? Seeing a bigger world, seeing more, seeing that I can really be something else. You know, all those things kind of played into it. And then, you know, that's the only difference between me and, you know, guys I grew up with, is like didn't have those same opportunities, didn't have that same vision, because it wasn't really presented in front of them. Like every person we know, this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? I'm an outlier. You know, like I said, there's never been a nigga owning a Bootstrapping. There's never been a nigga owning a restaurant. Yeah. Right? You know, like I tell the story all the time when one of the little homies hit me up a little while. He's like, man, you the richest guy in Halifax. I was telling my friends. I'm like, yeah, not quite. You know what I'm saying? Not really. Trying to get there. But, you know, in their eyes, like, 'cause they ain't never seen this. So it's like, okay, shoot, he's really doing something. So yeah, just, you know, that's kind of the role I see myself playing. That's why I try to stay visible. That's why I pull up. I coach. That's why I pull up to the hood, and, you know, I might got my last $100, but I'm giving it to the youngins because I want them to see, because that's what those guys over there did for me. And that's why we wanted to do what they were doing. Yeah. Right. So I think, you know, that's an important part to try to change that narrative and, you know, pave a way for that next generation for sure.
Fair. Yeah. One last question. So on the show, we like to make predictions, right? So it will be probably said here first, but in the next 5 years, where do you see yourself?
5 years, what we at? 2023 right now. I'm 27.
28.
So we'll be at 2028, and I'll be 32.
Fuck, you're young, bro. Shit.
Holy man. Shit. I'm feeling old there. But I mean, yeah, the kind of game plan over the next 5 years is just real profitability, like really having a bag.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Really, the business is really paying me on a real level and really making sense, you know what I'm saying? And really, so yeah, I think in that next 5 years, you know, I'll be able to breathe a bit better. I'll be able to sleep a bit better. You know, it ain't gonna be no big time cars and no big time chain. I have one little whip. I have one little chain.
I'm the same way,
you know what I'm saying, man? At the end of the day, I'm still a nigga, man. I still gotta be me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I still gotta look fly for that little homie that fortunately, unfortunately, looks up to that. Yeah. Like, and yeah, that's just what we come from. We don't got to be excessive, right? The chain can be Cuban, Cuban gold. It can have good resale value. We don't got to bust it down. You know what I'm saying? The whip can be a Benz that I might put on Toro on the weekends to help pay for the. You know what I'm saying? It might be leased. It might be expense through the business, right? So all those ways, I try to do anything like that. You know, anything of that sort. Like, you know, I just got a place up here in Toronto. $3,000 a month rent. With the game plan is like, okay, cool. I'm back and forth here, making some things happen here, but fuck, it's gonna be rented out when I'm not here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna make sense for itself, and then I can enjoy it. Yeah. Right. So anything like that, I try to do. So, you know, bring it back to the 5 years. That's kind of where I see myself, just breathing a bit better, and just a little bit closer to the goal, right? $100 million is the goal, right? In 5 years, we should have about 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? We should have about 5 of them. Just chipping away at it, So, yeah, man, that's kind of the game plan.
So let everybody know how to reach you and where they can contact you.
Yeah, I'm on IG, pretty often at velsmooth.ca. You can follow me on there, hit me up, whatever. I'm always looking to collab. I'm always looking to talk to people. Anyone that's trying to get it and trying to build, if you any questions, buying the business, running the business, I got 30 minutes for anyone, right? And that's trying to make something happen. So definitely hit me there. Email nevell@smoothmealprep.com, Nevell. Podcast.
Yeah.
I'm a business, man. We be giving some game out there. We do a podcast where we do a lot with ourselves, me and my brother, where we just kind of open like we did today, open up the doors and the conversations behind what we do and how we do things. But then also we bring in a lot of other entrepreneurs, right? That Black entrepreneurs specifically most times that have built their businesses and kind of their process. Podcast, Instagram, and those kind of main places, man.
Dope.
Yeah.
So, Nevell, I want to thank you for coming through, and I'm so thankful that you hit me up and said, "Yo, let's do this thing." Because honestly, because I've been so busy lately, and I really appreciated this conversation, and I really appreciate what you're doing, especially for me you're at a young age, right? A younger age, and you're doing big things, bro. Keep that up, bro. I appreciate it, honestly. Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise, man. I've been tapped in for a while to the movement. I tap into the episodes, I tap into the Instagram clips, and I always said, I got to get on the podcast one time. So when I was here, I'm like, fuck, I'm here, bro. Let's link up. We had a little miscommunication because I got to get you on the Businessman podcast, 100%. Right? So, but we're gonna make that happen in season 3. But man, likewise, keep moving the needle forward. It's needed. You know what I'm saying? The space in these conversations that we haven't seen. We see so much of the other stuff. We 100%. See so much of the entertainment. No offense to keep sixes and all that shit, the six buzzes and all. That's cool. It's entertainment, but how much of that can we have?
How much can you grow off of it?
There's not much growth at all. I don't need to know that Lady SB was in the club. You know what I'm saying? The other night. Yeah. I don't need to know that this person just got life in jail. I don't need to know that every day. Yeah. But these stories. These are the stories that's going to help people to grow. I see, man, you're bringing real estate people in here. You're bringing tax people in here. Like you're being strategic with the conversation, and you're flooding them constantly.
Thank you, bro.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
I know it's a grind. I know it's a journey, but the work is you already are a living legend. You're going to go down as a legend because I know it's not huge monetary value to this. In the long term, it is.
It's a long
right.
play.
But right now, fuck, man, you making this happen out of your own pocket, but the value to the community and the value to the people is real. And I just want to give you your flowers on that, man, 100%, bro. Because I know the grind, I know the journey, and what you represent. Even just the saying, Black is a new rich, man. That's real.
Back rich for the first time.
That's real. Straight.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. And anytime that you want me on your podcast, just let me know.
I got you. Season 3, we might got to fly you out to Scotia.
Yeah. That's another thing too.
I've never. You look Scotian, bro. And when you look Scotian, man, we might got to dig up your ancestry. You look Scotian, man.
I want to go. I've never been to Scotia. I played out in Newfoundland for a little bit. I played at Memorial College for university for like 4 months, and the team was shit. It's like I'm done with that, right? So I have a little bit of the East Coast, like just to know what it's like. But Nova Scotia is a whole different ballgame.
Scotia's different world, different world for sure. No, we gotta get you. That's 100%. What we'll do. Season 3.
No, 100%.
We're gonna get you out to Scotia,
there, bro.
Say no more.
All right, bro. Thank you again.
My God, yes,
Thank you.
brother.
Appreciate it,
sir.
Everything black on black. Nigga, if I study that facts on facts.